Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. This week, we are going to be doing a little bit of standing poses or standing pose oriented things, but using the chair for support. Some of these are, there is no sitting equivalent. So if you're coming to doing this class and you're using the video and you know that a more seated practice would suit you, please do search the Contented Yogini channel for a more suitable class. But today we will start our practice, as we always do, sitting upright in our chairs, trying to sit away from the back of the chair so we can use strength to sit in an upright position, and resting the hands wherever they're comfortable, closing your eyes or gazing gently downward, and bringing your body to quietness, to stillness. In doing this, we step away from everything else that's been going on around us and come into this time and space for yoga. Leaving behind all the hubbub of the rest of life's attention-seeking things, we can turn our awareness to how our bodies feel in this moment. Observe areas of the body that feel perhaps a little tight, stiff, or sore. Remember to work compassionately with these parts of the body as we practice together today. Notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, quiet, and at ease. Allow that sense of ease to soften the features of your face, to move through the body, perhaps offering a little softness to those areas of stiffness or tension. As we practice today, we will move all of the body, and there'll be plenty of opportunities to let go of tension. We don't need to do it all right this moment. Move your awareness to your breath. Feel the gentle ebb and flow of your natural breath. When you feel ready, you can deepen your breath. Feel the breath expanding through the body as you breathe in, maybe even lifting you to sit a little taller. And as you breathe a long, slow breath out, gently engaging across the belly muscles to exhale fully. Soften the belly to breathe deeply into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. A long, slow breath out, gently engaging to exhale completely. Soften the belly to breathe deeply into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Long and slow and steady breath out, engaging to exhale completely. Keep breathing in this way. Feel that each breath in draws in prana, vitality, energy. It lifts not just the body at all, but lifts the spirits, energizes the body and the mind. And each breath out is an opportunity to soften, to let go, to release anything which feels like that would be useful to do. When you're ready, you can allow your breath to fall back into its natural rhythm, falling into quietness. Here, perhaps gently taking your chin towards your chest, without forcing the head down, just wherever it naturally goes with gravity. Give yourself a soft smile. And when you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes. Very good. Let us start our practice, our movement practice, with just a little bit of movement through the shoulders. So rolling in the shoulders. Oh, feels so good, doesn't it? We don't do it very often, but it's a really nice one to do throughout the day. Just any moment you remember, give yourself a few deep breaths and roll through your shoulders. You'll feel so much better. When you're ready, you can bring your body back to stillness and sit really tall. And we'll start by turning to look over the left shoulder and then returning the head to that lifted center and turning to look over the right shoulder. And we're just gently turning from side to side, perhaps turning just a little bit further without forcing or pressing through any resistance in the body. This time, as you turn to your left, just hold there, wherever is comfortable. If you turn a long way in and it doesn't feel so comfortable, just step your head just slightly out of the turn so that wherever you're holding it feels good. And take a couple of deep breaths. You may feel as you hold that you can move just a little bit more without force, without strain, without any increased discomfort. When you're ready, coming back to the center, just rolling the shoulders a couple of times, maybe a gentle nod of the head as well. And then from that lifted center, turning to look over the right shoulder, and just making sure wherever you're holding it is comfortable enough for a couple of deep breaths. You may find that as you hold, you can turn your head just a little millimeter more. And when you're ready, you can release your head back to center again, just rolling the shoulders. We're going to sit tall and take the left ear to the left shoulder, and then up and over through center, right ear to right shoulder. Just a gentle side to side. Remember, you don't have to go to any particular depth in this posture. It's just wherever your head naturally goes to. There might be one side stiffer than the other, and that's okay. Just observing that, not forcing, not straining. The next time your head comes over to the left side, just feel if you can soften the shoulders down and hang out here for a moment. Breathing deeply. If it feels like you've got more room to move, you can press your right palm towards the floor. And if it feels like you've still got more room to move, you might gently lift your chin and lower your chin. Or you might not, if that doesn't feel like the right thing to do. If you get a lot of crunching or grinding and it feels unpleasant, then releasing into this one. You don't need to do this bit. When you're ready, relaxing your right arm, bringing your head back to center, just rolling your shoulders a couple of times, maybe nodding your head as well. And then from your centered lifted position, right ear to right shoulder, just resting here, seeing if it will soften or ease, or if you have more room to move, finding that gentle deep breath. If it does feel like there is just a touch of space opening up, you might press the left palm to the floor. And then if you feel like you've got even more room to move into, perhaps a gentle lift and lower of your chin. Gentle lift, gentle lower. Just feeling the connections in the body. Remembering to move slowly and steadily. Maybe just one more on this side. And then when you're ready, you can release your left hand and slowly bring your head back to center. Make any movements that feel good across the shoulders. And then from the center, chin towards chest, just feeling maybe a soft smile across the face. And when you're ready, you can lift your head to center, maybe lift your chin a little if it feels good. And then roll all the way back down, chin to chest. Gentle smile. And one more time, coming up, maybe gently lifting the chin if it feels good. And back to center. Rolling the shoulders once more. And we're going to move quite a lot with our upper bodies today, although we will be on our feet, and so the legs and the hips are doing the vast majority of the work. But we want to be able to create openness across the front of the body particularly, and strength across the back of the body to aid in our posture work. So bringing your fingertips towards your shoulders, they don't have to rest all of the way. It could be chest, it could just be in the direction of. And we're going to start with some elbow circles. It doesn't matter if you're doing one at a time. If that feels better because you've got one side that works differently from the other, or if you're doing both at the same time. Here we're making those circles perhaps just a little bit bigger every time we go round, feeling our way into the space. Eventually drawing the elbows towards each other in front of the body and drawing the shoulder blades towards each other behind the body. At the same time, we don't want the head to be completely static. Maybe we could gently lift the chin as we open the chest and gently draw the chin down as we broaden the upper back. So there's no rigidity in this posture. We are moving and flowing, creating opportunities for our energy channels in the body. Nadis, they're called in yoga, meridians in other disciplines. These energy channels to release any blockages, open and provide good space for that energy. When you're ready, just releasing your arms down to your side, giving your shoulders a few gentle shrugs, and then we'll take the shoulders all the way up to the ears and drop. Nice quick movement on release. Slowly shrugging up to hold and then drop down. One more. Slowly shrugging up to hold and then drop down. Very good. Aces. So we're actually going to come up to standing to do some of the rest of our work. So I'm just going to pop these blocks out of the way. We'll do some sit to stand because it's so useful for us to do that. So we want to have the feet underneath the knees, not too far ahead. It makes it really difficult to get purchase on your feet, not too far behind, because then usually we're operating not on the whole of the sole of the foot. So making sure you've got enough of your buttocks and maybe even the tops of the upper thighs on this chair. So when you come to sit down again, you feel confident in that area being supported. If you need to, you can always put your chair against a wall to stop it moving around. It's always useful to make sure that you have security in what you come back to. So we're going to start with a nice firm belly and make the hands come to the sides of the chair. And we're just going to gently lift the hips as we lean forwards and then release back down. So firm in the belly, lifting the hips, pressing into the feet and releasing. Doing a little sort of pendulum movement. Do you remember those toys that did the nodding? You set them off and then they nodded. It's a little bit like that. Lift and lower. For anyone who needs to, they can keep their hands on the seat, but I know that Janice, who's practicing in person with me today, doesn't need that, and many of our chair yogis do not. So coming to our second stage, we're going to firm the feet into the floor, firm the belly, and instead reach the hands forward to create that gentle momentum of lift, and then gently sit back down. Reaching forward, gentle momentum of lift, and releasing. Let's do one more like this and release. Now, in between this and actually coming up to standing, I'd like to do a hamstring stretch with our belts. So did I mention at the beginning that you needed a belt? I know I mentioned it to Janice, but I forgot to say in person. So if you need some sort of length to create your hamstring stretch, then have a belt to hand. We're just going to wrap those around the backs of our necks. And because we've activated some of the back of the legs to do this sit to stand, we're going to use that activation to create a better sense of length. And we're going to use the length to create a better sense of activation. It all marries together. So let us, from this position on our chair, just extend the right leg forward, and we want to flex at the right foot and see if you can feel a sense of length down the back of the right leg. Now, if you feel no sense of length here, even with a lengthened leg, not locking the knee straight but lengthened, then you can lean slightly forward over your left thigh, and you'll find that leaning slightly forward, what we want to do is scoop the belly in, open the chest, and create length in the tailbone as we lean forward. So we're actively sticking our bottoms out behind. If that still doesn't feel like there is enough length down the back of the leg, then you can take your belt, wrap it around the heel or the ball of your foot, and actually draw yourself a little deeper into this forward bend. So wherever feels good for you, I'm still leaning my left forearm a little bit on my left leg because I want to be able to easily come up from here. I have to press down into the left foot as well for support. Active in the belly, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. You can even widen your arms to keep your chest open. Take a deep breath in and out wherever you happen to be. And then we're pressing into the left foot to sit all the way tall, unwrapping the belt if it's wrapped around, drawing the right knee in, and we'll hug that right knee all the way up towards the chest. So it doesn't matter if you just bring it off the floor a little, if you can hold around the back of the thigh or the shin and draw that knee towards you as you sit tall, all the better. Take a deep breath in and out, and then pressing that foot down into the floor. Let's do a couple more sit to stands so that we can really activate for the other side. So making sure your buttocks are firmly supported. We're going to reach the hands forward as we firm the belly and take the weight onto the feet, just floating the bottom up and then releasing down. Let's do that 2 more times. A float up and down. Excuse me. And then 1 more time, floating up and down. So now we're going to do that hamstring length, or that sensation of length in the back of the leg on our left side, sliding the left heel forward and just seeing if that provides enough sense of length. And for some people, it definitely will. And it doesn't matter if you stick with just this level, because we want to provide opportunity for length in the body that suits the body that we have. If you need a little bit more, you can gently lean forward over your right thigh and just see if drawing the toes back towards the body helps here. It might be that you need to focus on not locking your knee straight, but just keeping a bit of softness. And here, if you need to, just a little tip of the tailbone backwards can really help as well. If you feel like you've got enough room to use the belt, then you can wrap your belt around the sole of your foot, heel or ball of the foot perhaps, doesn't matter much. And we're using the belt to draw us a little deeper into this forward bend over our stretched leg. But at the same time, we want to lift the belly muscles, open the chest. Imagine you're sticking your tailbone out, perhaps even widening your arms to keep the chest open. And just keep moving the toes back towards the body. And hopefully you feel some good sensations here. Taking a couple of deep breaths. when you're ready, you can gently press into your right foot to bring yourself up to center. Softly bend the left foot in, just popping your belt wherever it's comfortable, and then drawing your right knee into your chest. You can round through your spine, but then sit tall, either holding underneath the back of the leg or just simply lifting the knee towards you, holding around the front of the shin if you can, and then taking that foot down to the floor. Hopefully you now feel like you've really energized the backs of the legs, and we can do sit to standing all the way up and then coming all the way back down again. So feet firmly purchased on the floor, belly muscles working, reaching the hands forward to find that buoyant, slightly elevated buttock, and then reaching tall, and we're going to come back the way we came. So reaching the hands forward, the tailbone backwards, floating the buttocks back down to the chair, and then coming forward to float, and then stand all the way tall, reaching the arms wide, maybe even letting the hips come forward a little bit. And then the hips go back as we lift in the belly, bend in the knees, and lightly find purchase on the chair again. One more time, all the way up and down, opening the chest, all the way back down to the chair. And then this time we're going to come up and we're going to stay standing up. So reaching forward to stand, floating the arms down to the side, giving yourself a little dance of the shoulders, maybe a wiggle of the hips as well. Fantastic stuff, guys. Okie dokie. So let us come to doing a little bit of chair down dog with our chairs here. And we're going to work today through a series of poses where we encourage strength in the back of the body. If you spend time sitting, then the back of the body becomes long but weakened, and those muscles can get a little bit lazy, which is not a problem at all. We gradually can encourage them back to strength, which helps us to sit better, but also carry ourselves through life better, encourages our balance and strength, and so we feel better in ourselves. So we're going to begin by facing onto the chairs, taking the feet a comfortable distance apart, and simply breathing in as we reach our arms up, and then breathing out as we just bend at the knees and reach the hands forward to the chair back. Here we might need to step feet a little bit further back just to find that lengthened position. Underneath the body, we want to be firming in the belly muscles. We want to be lengthening through the tailbone, maybe drawing the head between the upper arms. Lower is not helpful, higher is okay. Pressing into the hands quite actively to encourage the strength down the sides of the body as well. And you can wiggle your knees from side to side. You can even turn your head from side to side if that feels good. Take these opportunities to wriggle out any stiffness or tension. And then when you're ready, you can look towards your seat, walk yourself in, and standing nice and tall. Wonderful stuff. We're going to turn sideways so that we can make our hip swinging movements. So if you need support on both sides of the body, perhaps a wall or two chairs, as well as the chair that you're standing with, then please move yourself into that area. We're going to stand on the leg that's closest to the chair and just feel a lift through both sides of the body. But as we float this outside knee, this is my left knee, floating the left knee up in front of us, we want to really take the weight onto that right leg. Hold on as much as you need to, both sides if needed, but fingertip touch if you can get to that lightness. Find a point of focus ahead of you that's not moving, and then we just gently swing this outside leg, this left leg in my case. And we're not trying to get anywhere in particular, we're lubricating the parts of the body that move our body in this way, because this is the action that we're going to use through the rest of our class. We want to firm the belly and be able to stand upright as we do this movement. When you're ready, you can just allow the legs to come back towards each other, and then we'll make some small hip circles movements. So again, standing as tall as possible, having that sense of lift. The hip circles don't need to be big. We're going to go the opposite way as well. If you feel like doing them big or starting small and getting bigger, absolutely you can go for it. Very good. Then we're going to stand onto both feet for a moment, and there's a real big difference in the effort of the legs. So let's march it out. There we are, and maybe give yourself a little hip shimmer or a little wiggle from side to side. I like to figure of 8 with my hips, which we've done in classes before. You can do this nice and slow and languidly, or you can do it a little bit more quicker, so it's a little bit of a shimmer. And then we're going to take our weight onto that same standing leg, standing really tall, and with the outside leg, we're going to move the leg across the body. So a sideways movement, drawing the left heel across the body and then out to the left. The movement out away from the body is actually the important one. So if you can't cross very much, don't worry about it. If you can, do a little curtsy behind the body and then swing the leg out to the side as well. So a little curtsy behind the body, toes come to the floor, a little bend in both knees, and swinging the leg back out to the left side. Let's do one more. And then feet together. Taking again note of how that feels around the legs and the hips. It's quite strong work when we do it all at once, and we're used to breaking it down sometimes. So we're going to do the other side, which I will use the wall for, but you can turn yourself around or move your chairs if you like. So the standing leg is now the opposite leg. We're standing nice and tall. We're just going to float the right knee, in my case, off the floor, the outside leg, so that we can find our centered strength over that standing leg. And then when you're ready, just swinging. And because this leg was the working leg before, you might feel it more. You might also feel it's really nice to be allowing it to do something that's not really statically holding. So the standing leg is always stabilizing, which is really strengthening. Keeping the body nice and upright, a nice lift through the belly, openness through the chest. And then when you're ready, you can just bring the legs towards each other and make some hip circles. Fingertip touch on the wall or the chair, whatever you're using, if you can work towards that. A firmer grip if it's more helpful for your balance. When you're ready, going in the opposite direction. Not trying to do super big circles here, just lubricating, just energizing, just activating. Very nice. Let's do one more in this direction. Stand onto both feet for a moment, feeling the difference between the two sides of the body, marching it out a little bit if it helps, just to balance out that effort. Certainly going to work hard today. And then we'll come back to standing on that inside leg again, so that we can move the outside leg in a sideways motion. So the right foot is coming across the body a little bit, but mostly it's going out to the side. Again, that lift in the belly, lift in the chest. And we really want to feel a little freedom here. So within your range of movement, a nice easy space, just moving quite freely. When you're ready, you can do the gentle curtsy, just stepping that foot behind the body, bending both knees, and then lengthening out to the side, using as much support as you need to, and making sure that you're just working at a place that feels comfortable, not too many if you need to rest sooner, doing so. Bringing the legs back together, making note of how they feel. I can really feel that in my hips, and I can never tell when I come to doing chair yoga whether it's because of the other videos that I've already recorded today or whether it is just because of the effort, but I like to think it's because of the effort. So a little gentle sway of the hips here. And the other thing that can be really nice to do is to actually stand and draw one knee into your chest. You could do this sitting if you prefer, And we can do the other side as well, just holding the knee towards you. If you'd like to, as you draw your knee into your chest, you can round through your spine a little bit. And any work that we do, swapping to the other side, where we stand on one leg, is really good for us. It's good for osteoporosis and bone density, encouraging bone density and alleviating osteoporosis, as opposed to being good for osteoporosis. But it's good to help prevent falls, to improve our balance, to improve the strength of the legs in general, which helps us to live independently as long as possible. So now we have done this movement with our swinging, we're going to come back to our downward facing dog, but lift one leg off the floor if possible. So we're going to start at the chair, walk our feet away. So we come into a forward bend. The hands are supported on the chair. Remember to press into the hands. The hands and the arms are quite active here. A lift through the belly muscles. We're going to bring our feet as close together as feels comfortable for you. And then simply slide the right foot back, keeping the toes on the floor if it feels comfortable. A little softness in the left knee. And then slide that foot back to center. So both feet are on the floor underneath the hips. Lift in the tailbone and slide the left foot back, toes on the floor. Slight softness in the right knee. And back to the center. So this is the first level. If you wish to, you can stay in your downward dog, slide the right foot back, and then just see if you can press into the hands, press into the left foot, and raise the right leg up. It doesn't need to go high. It could just float an inch off the floor. It could stay on the floor, or you could lift it a little bit higher if you wish to. And then bring that right foot back underneath the right hip. In the center, maybe give yourself a little wiggle. And then preparing by pressing into the hands, pressing into the right foot, sliding the left foot back, and then seeing if you can lift that foot up. Maybe just an inch from the floor, maybe a little higher. Maybe the toe stays down on this side. We've got sides that are different, so observing that. When you're ready, stepping the left foot underneath the left hip. We'll take the feet wide and then just sway the hips from side to side. Little sway of the hips here. If you like to, you can look under one arm and then the other. And then when you're ready, look towards your seat and walk your feet in to come to an upright standing position. Well done. So if that felt challenging enough, that might be the part to practice that. So we're going to come to working in front of the chair now. But if you think that that was challenging enough, just stick and do another round of that. I'm going to turn my chair around so I can work with the seat of my chair as my support instead of the back of my chair. And then this time I want to do that same, what we've done is a variation of Warrior 3, where we come from downward facing dog to lifting one leg. We've got this sort of Superman look, slightly extended. Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3 is that posture. And now we're going to do that posture facing onto the chair seat. Same process, but we'll start with our feet a little bit further away and do a forward bend to come into our downward dog. So reaching the arms out and up as we stand tall, and then as you breathe out, perhaps bending forwards from the hips, reaching the hands forward to your chair seat, a little soft in the knees, as bent as you like, to fold into a downward facing dog. You might want to have your feet a little bit further back, but we have that same principle of keeping the knees bent so we can send the hips back behind the heels, reaching the hands forward, keeping the head either between the upper arms or slightly above is fine too. A lift in the belly muscles here, and we want to just bring the feet a little closer together. If this feels stable and you can really press into your hands, then you can slide the right foot back, just taking the toes to the floor, not lifting the foot at this time, just making sure it feels good, and then step that foot forward. And then the same thing on the other side, sliding back the left foot, making sure it feels stable, pressing into the right foot, and the hands as well. Step that foot forward, and then from here we can bend the knees deeply, press into the hands just as when we sit to stand, reach the arms up to stand tall and reach the arms down to the sides. Nice exit, and it's lovely to come back but keep the feet in place so we know they're exactly where they need to be for our next bit of practice. So we're going to stand tall as we take the arms around the body and up, and then fold forward from the hips, sticking the tailbone out, reaching the hands or the fingers to the chair seat, or if you're still practicing the chair back, no problem. If you feel your seat is a bit too low, you can always stack a couple of books or blocks on top to give you an in-between height. We're going to take our weight onto our hands and our left leg, slide the right leg back, and just see if we can float that right foot from the floor. And if you can, activate the back of the body to lift that leg as high as feels comfortable, pressing into the hands, firm in the belly, firm in that left leg, but with a soft knee. Nice relaxed back of the neck. And then bringing your right foot back underneath your hips. In the center, give your hips a little sway or a wriggle in any fashion before practicing to the other side. Pressing the right foot down, sliding the left foot back, press into the hands. Float that foot off the floor if you can, lift it a little higher, really activating the back of the body. Breathing. Firm in the belly, firm in that standing leg, just soft across the knee to activate all the muscles. And then releasing the left foot under the left hip. Soft bend in the knees, just bending a little deeper. Press into your feet. Stand all the way up tall and then relax the arms down to the side. This is strong work. So if anyone feels like they just need to have a sit down and a rest, absolutely go. In fact, we might all just sit down for just a moment. I like it when we do things together. So sitting down for just a moment, we've done quite a lot of strong work with the back of the body. Let's draw the knee into the chest, hug it towards you, maybe even round yourself forward, nose to knee or forehead to knee, and then sit nice and tall on the other side. Draw your knee into your chest. If you feel good, you can round through the body. You don't have to do that. It's just like another stage. If you want to, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. When you're ready, sitting tall, and come all the way up into standing and shake out anything that needs shaking out. Excuse me. So I'd like you to watch my demonstration of the next bit before practicing with me, just in case it feels like it's not the right thing to do. I'm going to take a block and make it ready just in case. So I'm actually going to put that block behind me a little bit so that I can put my foot on it if I need to. I'm hoping it'll be about the right place. So I'm going to face my chair and come into the posture in exactly the same way as we did before, and then find my long dog with a leg behind, and then I'm going to lift into my warrior 3, but then I'm going to shift my weight forward. So in warriors and dogs, the weight sometimes behind the standing leg. I'm going to shift my weight forwards and take my left foot is on the floor to the chair, and then just turn slightly to the right, lifting my right hand up, or maybe keeping it on my waist, and maybe even turning the toes of my right foot to the right. Now, if it doesn't feel comfortable to lift the leg all of the way, you can balance your foot on a block and do the same thing. So you've got a little bit of support, but your foot is on the block. You don't need to lift your leg away from the floor. And then we come out the way we went in, nice sort of dialing back down to center, stepping both feet onto the floor, and then we're going to gently round back up to standing. So just a gentle sort of rounding up. Okay, we'll do this on both sides. I'll maybe swap my chair around so I can see. Here, what happens is the standing leg stays static, but we move the weight around. So sometimes that might be something that feels good to the hip. If it doesn't feel good to the hip, you don't have to lift your body away from that standing leg in the same way. So we'll just see how we go. So blocks can be useful if you want to rest your foot on them at any stage. And we might come just a little bit closer towards the chair as well. Take a deep breath in, take the arms around the body and up. Deep breath out as you fold forward, lengthening your hips back and just coming into your downward facing dog. Here we want to find that sense of length in the hips, but we want to also soften the knees, firm in the belly. We're going to slide the right foot back so the toes are on the floor, and then if it feels good, we can lift that leg just a little. Don't need to lift it much. Shift your weight slightly forward so you can place your left hand down, and then keep your right hand on your chair, maybe fingertips for the moment. See if you can lengthen that right hip to the right as if you were turning to look to the right. And if it feels good, you can press into the left hand, find a point of focus that's not moving, take your right hand to your right hip perhaps, or maybe even lift it up. If you can, flex your foot so that your right toes are pointing to the right. Whoop, she says. It's totally easy to overbalance here, so just taking your time. And then when you're ready, you can dial it all back to center and step both feet to the floor. Give yourself a little wiggle. And we're going to round up to standing. Take the arms around the head and up. Finish with the hands at the center of the chest. Now, I apologize for my over wiggle. That's because I was busy trying to look at what was happening on the screens at the same time as practicing. But I hope that you found it nice and strong and stable with your core body work. Let me move this block out of the way and we can do the same thing to the other side. And remember, if you don't want to do the opening of the twist, then you can just stick with the Warrior 3 variation of lifting the leg. Facing your chair, taking a deep breath in, taking the arms around the body and up, and then folding forward to place your hands down on the chair and find your down dog variation here, nice and firm in the belly. You can slide your left foot back this time, focusing on standing onto that right leg. We can lift the left foot up if you want to, use a block of course if you prefer, shift the weight slightly forward and place the right hand down. Come onto the fingertips of the left hand and maybe just turn the body slightly to the left, opening up the hip to the left, finding your point of focus that's not moving. You might feel that you can bring your left hand to your left hip, or maybe even up into the air. You might turn that foot completely so the left foot, can't believe I've done it again. This is one of my least favorite postures, I have to say, but turning the toes towards the left as well. Super. Half moon pose. It is a wobbly chair I've got on this side, I promise. A good work woman never blames her tools. When you're ready, you can dial your hips back down to center and just maybe step your feet slightly further away from the chair. Give yourself a nice long downward dog. And then to come up, we're going to softly bend the knees round through the spine, standing all the way tall, reaching the arms around the body and up. And bringing the hands back down to the center of the chest. Release your hands down, give your legs a little bit of a shake out. So funny. There are those days when it goes right and those days when it doesn't. Today is obviously not my day. So let us come to do some releasing postures on the chair and then we'll come for relaxation. After all of that, big work. So if you're able to step your foot up to your chair here, we can step on the side of the chair, we can step the right foot up, and then all we need to do is just do a gentle twist to that right side. You can even move your right arm around in a circle 3 times. There we go, maybe one more like that. And then we can do the same thing to the other side, either coming to the other side of the chair or simply doing the other side while we're there. Stepping the left foot up, standing nice and tall, and then reaching the left arm around the body in circles. So we're just twisting to that side a little bit. You can hold a static twist. You don't need to move your arm in circles if you don't want to. Very good. And then as you come to sitting on your seat, we can do a gentle back bend here. So take the arms around the body, holding onto the chair back or the chair seat as you choose. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other and lift your chest up. Take a couple of deep breaths in. Remember, we look like the front of a ship like this, don't we? The ladies you sometimes see carved into the front of clippers and whatnot. And then gently release. And then we'll draw one knee into the chest, hug it towards us. Nice rounding through the spine. Sitting tall, and the opposite knee in. Very good. Then maybe a gentle side bend or two, just giving us an opportunity to release any effort that has been collected by the body before we come to do our relaxation. For relaxation, you might want a blanket or some blocks underneath your feet. I know it's a gloriously sunny day today, and it is even here as it is on the West Coast. But just making sure that you're going to be warm after that practice. Apologies, I have a little croaky throat at the moment, so just having a little bit of juice there. Maybe the croaky throat is the reason why I can't balance today. Who knows? So when you're ready, you can sit yourself right back into your seat. And doing so, release some of the effort in the back of the body. And then here, resting the hands wherever they're comfortable, just closing the eyes, gently gazing, taking the gaze internally. Allow your body a few moments to settle here. You might need to fidget a few things just to get properly comfortable. And then when you're ready, taking a deep breath in, sighing out through the mouth. And repeating 3 more times, a deep breath in. Let all of your effort go. A deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. A deep breath in and surrender your body back and down. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. The space between the eyebrows spreading. The mouth, tongue, and jaw releasing. Allow that sense of softness to start from the crown of the head. Feel that softness coming down the sides of the head, the back of the head, and the face. Like drawing a veil over the body. Every part of the body the veil covers is surrendering effort, softening, releasing, and relaxing. Draw the veil down over the shoulders, the chest and upper back. Draw the veil down over the arms, the center of the torso, the center back. Draw the veil over the hands and wrists, the low back, low belly, sides of the body. Allow that sense of stillness, softness, releasing tension, relaxing deeper. Draw the veil over the hips and the buttocks, the thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet and toes. Allow the legs to become softer, to release tension, to let go, to relax. The whole body relaxing from head to toe, softening from head to toe. Releasing deeper with every passing exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath, bringing your awareness back into your hands and your feet by moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, take a deep breath in and stretch the body any way that feels good. Maybe you stretch your face and then you roll. It feels good. You might like to lean forward over your legs. Or you might prefer to stretch the sides of the body. Whatever feels good in this moment. When you're ready, you can gather yourself back to center and rest your hands across your heart or palms together in front of the chest, maybe even bowing your head forward gently. Smiling to yourself to soften any tension left in the face. Knowing that you carry this strength with you, the strength that we've built up today, but the strength that we just have naturally in our bodies, in our minds. You can draw on it throughout the week ahead to help us with caring for people on our journey, or perhaps to help us with our sense of patience and tolerance when encountering people on our journey. Give yourself another gentle smile, raising your head when you're ready to open your eyes. Thank you for joining in this practice today. I hope that you had more success at balancing than I did. I will be doing a short video practice with a few more hints on this one. I hope you enjoy that too. Namaste.